like that should be acceptable. It's hard to
Okay.
say exactly where that hard line is. All I'm saying is that like there are people who have done horrible shit, right? And they're like horrible people because of it, and they should be punished for the horrible things that they done, right? But like I think that it's one thing that all can be correct. I think we should all do that 100%. They're not like all of a sudden not a human being where we can just go and just do whatever we feel like doing to them at that given point. Like I don't
Okay,
think
Well,
like they
but Bucci, I have a
lose the
question for you, Bucci.
rights. And let me finish. I don't think they just like lose those like I guess sort of like I guess you could say rights for lack of a better term to just go
okay.
ahead and be fend off to the woods.
So, Bucci, I have a question for you then. If you had to choose between the life of, let's say, like 10 kids and 100 pedophiles, but which one would you choose?
I mean, that... why would you ask that?
How much do the pedophiles pay in tax?
Exactly.
Is that really relevant to the answer to the question?
I think it is. Well, I mean, generally, like, so the calculus we're doing is like a utilitarian calculus here, right? We're saying like, how much benefit do these 100 pedophiles outside of their pedophilic activity, so their general day-to-day job, the shit they do in their community, how much benefit is that bringing humanity versus the harm it would raping 10 kids would do?
Okay,
And
let me
then
change
if
the
the
question
benefit
then.
they
Let me
bring
change
is
the
higher,
question
then
then.
we'll choose
let
Sure,
me
evil.
hold on. Let
I
me
miss. No. Wait a second. Let me just change the question. I guess the question could be answered like that. The question I was asking is, okay, let's assume we have 1 million pedophiles and we have one child. Okay, should we kill?
No,
so
it's a
I'm
good question.
hold
It's
on.
a good
So
question. If you
So-
change the scale, that's how you find out where
okay,
the line
so
is.
what I'm saying is that
No, because I'm not
like
changing the scale
committing
here.
an
It's
act
clear.
of
It's clear from a utilitarian point of view that
let me ask everyone else
if you
this
want to
question.
give the
Does
more like
does
benefit, you're going to
committing the
give
Wait,
like
act
wait,
a
wait.
of
million
Don't talk at the
murder
same
dollars.
time. Wait.
Guys.
Stop
So
talking at the same time.
a million people's like taxes can be used more
I
than like a child. It doesn't even produce any tax
I'm
money.
not even
But at the
going
Buji,
to
Jesus,
that
come
point.
on.
Wait, can you just
Buji.
wait, Buji? Wait until he finishes the question, and then you can go.
So a million. So if we're looking at this from a that utilitarian point of view, then 1 million people's taxes is of course going to be able to produce much more good than what one person could. But the question here is like principally, like should we really allow 1 million people like to live if they're going to ruin or destroy this one kid's like innocent kid's life? Like I don't know if I would agree to that like whatsoever.
But yeah, so
So
why?
Wait,
so
let's let
Couldn't you
Buji answer
argue it
this.
with like
okay.
any
So
Wait,
like
crime that is
wait,
let
let's
me let me
let Buji
let me
answer.
understand something, okay? Kid, you guys tell me, right? I go and commit murder. Should you all be allowed to murder me and like get away with it?
So let's say you commit murder. Do we get to murder you?
Why?
Well, no, because we'd be doing the same
I
thing
feel like-
you're doing. So it would be just as hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's-
like
let's-
the equivalent in this scenario would be, let's say
Does
I
it
go
depend
out
on the
and
reason
rape a
why, though?
child. Do I let a child rape me and it makes it even? No, that's not
No.
equivalent,
Okay,
right?
all right. I do that harmful thing to a child. Does now I did that. Are you all allowed to murder me? And it's absolutely fine.
I would say no, but like
I'd say
It
yeah.
depends on how you define it. Do you, as a society, do you ask us like
No,
as a
I'd
member
say
of
yes.
no, the
society,
laws
or do you
the laws
ask
on the
So-
books right now
so
operating
legal-
within
okay,
our society
you
right
would,
now.
Would you advocate that you should be legally allowed to kill me
So
and not face legal consequences?
I'd say
So-
yes, and here's why: because there's a percentage chance that you do it again, and the chance of that happening again is worth less to me than your life. So you just die, and we
Fair
remove
enough,
that
yeah.
chance altogether.
I think so. So we're doing there's two different ways to think about this, right? There's the one way that I brought up before, which is the utilitarian calculus. Flat out, what brings more benefit to humanity than the other thing, right? But then there's also the decisions we make that sort of that embolden characteristics we want in our society, right? So generally, in the Western society, our justice system is more rehabilitative rather than punitive. It focuses on showing
Okay.
these people that what they've done is wrong. These
Can
are just
I-
the ideals, right? I'm not
can I
talking
ask
about like
you-
how it
can I ask
works.
you a
Real
question?
quick. These are just the ideals, and this is the message that we want to send out with our Western justice system
okay.
is to rehabilitate people rather than to punish them, right? So in that sense, we would take the sacrifice, or we would take the chance, the 13% recidivism chance
Okay, I
that
feel
this
you.
person. Can you like
Yeah,
not
go
do
on.
the
Go on.
ad libs?
Yeah, go on.
So we would take the chance that these people would reoffend, and we would put faith in our justice system that we can rehabilitate them so that they don't offend. So we're weighing these two things against each other.
Okay, I have a question. So even if we just want to remove pedophilia, like pedophiles offending, do we not increase the probability of them offending if we like give them the feeling of they can't tell us their problems? They have to live with their problems on their own.
Yeah, true. That's why I said non-offenders, people who haven't offended, shouldn't be fucking just killed
Even
straight
if
up.
they offended, I mean,
Okay, if they offended, okay, well, they already committed a fucking atrocious crime, so yeah,
But-
their punishment should be death. Like, I don't think, like, you know what I mean?
what? But you know, like preventing, like finding out what exactly to do. You could find out, okay, what actually made this person to commit this crime, and then work on it. But you're not able to work on it if you just kill him, right?
Yeah, well, okay, that's the thing, though. I don't think that you can work
Yeah.
on somebody who sexually assaulted a fucking child.
But
I
there
don't
might
think
be
you can
other
do
ones
that.
that
Here's
would
the
want
thing.
to do.
Here's the thing. If the court, if the judicial system is determining that maybe there's to be consideration that this person should receive the death penalty, they're not looking at it as, oh my God, they fucking hurted a kid out there. They deserve to die. They're looking at the case. They're looking at the individual. They're looking at who they are and the circumstances and the evidence and taking all of that into account. And yeah, because I have to go and do a 9 to 5, do other shit that day, I kind of depend on them to figure that out for all of us.
Well, I think like
You a bitch.
I think what you're saying is incorrect, like Champion, because you can find out things from these people, right? Like we did this, or the American justice system did this in the 1970s with serial killers, right? There was a spree of serial killing, and the cops just had no idea what to do, and then they went and they interviewed serial killers they had already caught to get into the mindset of psychopaths. They had no idea what a psychopath was at this time. So to get into the mindset of psychopaths, and this helped them track down and catch people who were serial killing, right? You
Okay. If there's
so
still stuff, okay.
So you can
and then I'll
do
change my mind.
research,
Oh,
just
but
like
wait, we don't know
I'll
if
give you an
killing them would
example.
also solve it.
Yeah,
We
I'll
don't
give
know
you an
that.
example. I'll give you an example. I'll say, so with the like, okay, so say there's a certain mental illness or whatever the fuck we don't know about, and it's resulting, and that mental illness is, okay, we'll just say pedophilia, for example, I guess. Whatever, I'll just continue with this.
Whoa.
We'll say, they don't know how the fuck it works, right? And they want them to fucking come forward so they can understand studies. You know what I mean? Like if there's like kind of an incentive to like have them alive so we can figure out why they do it and what happens to their brains, and like, to do studies and make sure and like to figure out how it happens, then yeah, probably should kill them, probably should let.
So it's
But I feel like, the fucking moment that
because also there's a difference,
they
right?
find out.
So if I get your model pedophile, right, who just has pedophilic tendencies but has never offended, and I'm a researcher, and he comes to me and he says, "Hey, I like kids. You can ask me questions and do your experiments on me." There's only a finite amount of things I can find out from that guy, right? But then if there's a dude who says, "Hi, I'm a pedophile. I've successfully raped 14 kids. You can ask me questions." There's a wealth of knowledge between those two people, right?
Yeah,
I
he's
can
a
find out
pedophile.
different things from the guy who is actually out there and doing it, which can help in my research to prevent more kids being raped.
Well,
So
actually, he would be more beneficial for society than the kid that got raped. No, I'm sorry, that was a joke. Okay.
I mean, maybe he would.
Yeah,
It's very
but-
possible. Most kids are shitters, but like so this is just like these are just like very valid reasons to not kill these people, right?
Yeah, and listen, you could arrive at like reasonable, like some circumstance in which like maybe it would be like a valid argument could be made, right? But
Yeah. Like
that art, like,
you can do the who was it? Who did was it Bill Clinton or like Ronald Reagan? One of your shitty presidents did the 3 strike rule, right? So we just do that. If you rape 3 kids, you executed. If not,
Oh,
we
that's
use you for
fucked.
research.
No, that's
Yeah,
fucked.
3
Who was
strikes.
it? Was it
So
Joe?
I
That's
guess
fucked.
another question that this is like coming close to is it all right to do bad so that in the end you can do more good? Is that something you guys are for?
I think
That's
the
a
problem
very
how we're
I don't
approaching this
think
question.
argument
anyone
is
is
that there's
for
a
that, but
is that I think
there
there's
is.
one problem that how we're kind of coming to a conclusion on this argument is that there's no one just way to fix a situation. It's all anecdotal, depending on the case by case bias of different people, like different pedophilic fucking situations that people are put in or whatever the fuck, right?
Yep.
Like where, oh well, this kid was and it's like this whole situation, like the one I just explained in the UK, right? Like most people would be like, well, yeah, the courts didn't do anything when they went to the police and the courts and they didn't do anything. So then she took it into her own hands to deal with the situation. But like
Yes.
many people, majority of people who saw the case were like, yeah, that's completely just. She did what she had to do. The only thing she could.
I didn't see it that way.
To protect her kids, right? But like majority of people saw it that way, right? It's like, but it's very case by case bias. Like,
Yeah, but like it is case by case, which is why saying shit like, "Oh, all pedophiles should be killed," like while it's good for internet brownie points and it gets you a lot of like yas queens on the internet, it's not really a helpful thing.
I disagree. He didn't get that here.
I mean, he got it from me. I like the idea of
Yeah.
killing pedophiles,
I
but
mean, and listen, they got it from exactly.
Yeah, but you like passive aggressive, so
no, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm just on a lot of medication that makes it hard for me to put emotion into my voice. I apologize.
What type like the anxiety suppressing medication?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you
Damn,
think
that's
I've
rough.
heard that people with higher intelligence have an easier time for anxiety. Do you think that's because we
Easier time?
I think like
I'm gonna go down
percentage
a
What,
call
like-
and
like
talk to
dealing
other people,
with
man.
it,
It was
or-
a good discussion. Talk to you guys later.
No
Sure.
worries, man.
See ya.
See you around, man.
So I think it's like percentage wise, people with higher intelligence have more anxiety.
Really? I've heard.
I heard the
Oh
opposite.
yes, yeah.
Was it not the
Sorry,
opposite?
I thought you said that
Oh,
people with
dealing.
a higher
Yeah,
intelligence have
okay.
a easier time dealing with anxiety.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dealing
no.
is different.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
the saying like ignorance is bliss comes from, right?
Mm.
If you're too dumb to realize what's going on in life, you're chilling.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if it's just that they're too dumb to realize it. I think people with more intelligence. I think a part of intelligence is thinking through things very thoroughly and going over them or like many different times. And I think when it comes to like stressful things, doing that is going to lead to more anxiety.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to ask a question. Why are old people so like assholes? That's
On
like
here?
like old
Mhm.
people. They're like
Old people.
Yeah, they're like the biggest assholes alive.
Well, they've
I
been
don't think-
suppressing urges all their life.
Yeah, I don't think they're assholes. I
They
think
are.
it's more. Sorry, they are assholes, but I don't think it's because they're old. I think it's more that like they've gone through life doing all the nice things that we do in our daily lives to make us not seem like assholes, and now they're at the end of their life. No one can really do anything to them.
Mm.
There's no social penalty for
Yeah.
an old person being an asshole, right? Like I can be an 89-year-old man and I can walk in front of children naked and they'll be like, "Oh, he's just a little bit off in the head. Kids don't look." Like I'm not going to get sent to jail for that.
Yeah, that's not true whatsoever. If you're an old person and you act in a way that's socially unacceptable, you're going to face social repercussions for that.
No, there's nothing. Like what are they going to do?
Yeah,
They're going to
be
put me in a home?
shunned. They're going to be shunned by the society. That's a
I don't
big
see that
consequence.
happening ever. Like I see a lot of old people in like homes that like there's a whole trope of like the dirty old man in the nursing home who pinches the nurse's butt and shit like that. Like if I was 40 and I did that, like I'm going to jail for sexual assault. But if I'm 90 and do that, then like, oh, he's a bit kooky.
You don't think those people get shunned in their like place?
There's only a certain amount of shunning that can happen before nothing makes any difference, right? Like you're already in a home, you're already like ostracized from your family, they don't visit, and like you're already towards the end of your life. How much worse can it get? Because that's the calculation that old people are doing in their head, right? If they're still lucid, anyways.
I mean, if you put like a potato into a boiling pot and it's like 100 degrees in the water, like even though the like temperature of the water won't go up after a certain degree, the temperature of the potato is going to go up. You can make the same metaphor for old people who are experiencing social
Yeah, but
shunning.
old
Where like,
people, yeah, old people are already shunned and disrespected in our society. They're already at like
no,
they're already at like 97% or 97 degrees. So the other 3 degrees doesn't really make a big difference to them.
well, first off, if a human being gets to 100%, I think they just break down like completely, and like
Yeah, why do you think old people always have like dementia and like Alzheimer's and shit?
that has to do with biology. Yeah, I can't tell if you're trolling, Evil. Like you're a
No, I
smart guy,
mean,
but okay, are you serious?
no. So think about it, right? Like it's not just a biological thing. It's just like when you get old, your body starts to break down, right?
Yeah.
Like so why would they care about life then? Or why would they care about social niceties when your body is breaking down? You're probably not going to live for the next 5 years. You might as well just dispense with all the niceties and just like live your life, you know?
Yeah, what do you get
If
out of it?
humans thought like that, they would like show no like kindness to strangers. Like humans don't really like that's not really
I'm
how
talking
humans
about
think.
old people. I'm talking about old people.
No,
When
well,
we're young, we have something to lose, right? Like
okay, my bad.
if I go to my
Let me clarify.
professor and I like if I go to my professor and I call him a fucking retard, he's gonna like call me to the principal's office and I'm gonna get like in trouble. If a 90-year-old man calls a child a retard, nothing's gonna happen because they're gonna be like, oh, he's from a different time, he's a little bit messed up in the head, like blah blah blah, and he's gonna go about his day. He's not gonna get any social repercussions. That's what I'm saying, is that at a point when you're too old, nothing matters. Like
Yeah, and that's false. If a old person like goes out naked in front of people, he's gonna or her is going to experience social shunning by their peers and by the people around them. And humans like dislike that, and humans have a general tendency to like avoid things they dislike, especially if it's sensation. So that's why they wouldn't act in that way. And before you made this point where you were like why does it matter for them? Like they're going to die anyway soon. Like there's nothing that can be
yeah.
done to them. I mean, humans don't think like that. If they were to think like that, then everybody would be like nihilistic,
There's
and they would
so
like
many
have no.
old people who think like that. Like they they come to terms with their situation. Like or you see this also with people who are young and they have terminal illnesses as well. Like they just know they're going to die soon. So the rest of their life, like they play by a different set of rules, which I think like is perfectly fine. You have limited time left. Like you
Could you
might as
be more
well.
specific when you say they think like that?
Like, what do you? Oh, so okay, so like, let's say I'm 25, right? Let's say I have cancer, and the doctor says, yeah, it's terminal, 6 months, you're
Sure.
gonna die. So now my whole perspective on life has changed. Now I don't really need to follow social rules because the reason why I'm following these social rules is that so that I can have social consideration from other people for the rest of my life, right? For a long time. But because I don't have that long time left, my investment changes. And
Sure.
now
Would it be
I,
fair to say that people act off the rationale?
yeah,
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think people derive their actions from their rationale. I think they do it from their urges and from their like emotions. I don't think we look at things
I think there's
rationale
an
like.
underlying rationale though. There's an underlying like quid pro quo, tit for tat type deal, right?
Sure,
Where
but that rationale comes from the emotions, not the other way around.
yeah, but it's still rationale that underlies all of our actions, right? Like, I'm sure someone has done something to you in public where you wanted to do an unacceptable action to them. So, for example, if someone cuts in front of you in the line, or if someone does some sort of social faux pas, you really want to like shout at them, "You fucking retard!" But
Mhm.
if you do that in public, it would cause you to feel some sort of social repercussion, right? And the reason why you don't want that social repercussion is because for the longevity of your life, for a longer time, you are making that investment, right? But if you don't have that time left, if you have a limited amount of time, then there's no reason for you to partake in this social interaction that we have where we are nice to each other. So then you can go and call that person a fucking retard, and those people can socially shun you, but it won't have as much impact as if you had 40 years of your life left. If you have 6 months left, social shunning, what is that? You got much bigger problems. So it puts everything
Sure,
into a different perspective.
but here you're making. I think it's a dimensional argument, not a one-sided argument, because you're saying somebody cuts ahead of you on your line, you're gonna feel anger at them. But here's the thing: that's not the only thing you're gonna be feeling. You're gonna be feeling like a bunch of other conflicting emotions and attitudes. And I don't think it's. I don't think the rationale is plays a major or significant part there. So maybe it does for you. It's possible it does it for some people, but I think for like the vast majority, I think their urges and their inclinations are going to play a much larger role. And that's why I think old people are generally nice and like they don't go and commit crime or do like stupid shit.
That's true. I guess there's an element of that. I guess I'm talking specifically about like old people who are, because there's like a scale of old people, right? Like someone in their 60s or something, they're old, but they can still do stuff. But if you're like crippled, you're 89, 99 years old, and you're sitting in a hospital home, there's not much you can do, right? So the the thing that like old people don't commit crime, or old people are nice or whatever, like there's a quid pro quo happening there.
Sure. Yeah, I guess like we're taking a better example here where we take somebody with terminal cancer and they only have like 1 day left to live.
Yeah,
So
like
I think
you
from
can do
a
whatever you want, right? Like you can shit on the floor, no one's gonna say anything. You can yell racial slurs, no one's gonna say anything. Or even if they do say anything, they can't meaningfully impact your life because you only have 1 day left to live, right?
sure
So
you just cited actions that like almost nobody has the urge to do. Maybe to
okay,
like aid
fine.
your argument, you can.
Okay,
Mhm.
I have terminal cancer. I have 1 day left to live, and I have a hot nurse, and I decide to spank her while she walks away from my bed. I mean,
Sure, that's a good example.
yeah,
How
like
many people do you think are gonna do that?
I don't know, like some people. I mean, let's just assume for this analogy that I am the type of person who would do that.
Mhm.
So then, like, I only have 1 day left to live. There's no social penalty that I'm gonna face, or even if I am gonna face a social penalty, it's not gonna bother me because I have 1 day left to live. I have bigger things to worry about, right? There's almost no
Mhm.
social penalty that you can inflict on someone who has 1 day left to live that will meaningfully affect them.
I think I agree with you, but I think the word meaningfully is too abstract here, too vague. But I wanted to make the argument that the people who have that inclination that you cited, uh, there's going to be the want to do that, and then there's also going to be the like sheer willpower to go through like the shame and embarrassment and like the actions to do it. And I think you're going to need both of these. And I think having like your life sentence, life duration shortened to like a day is going to increase the urge. But I don't think maybe actually is it? I don't know if it would.
Yeah, it would, right? Because you're like, this is my last day on Earth. I want to do all the things that I want to do, right? Because I have no time left. So you probably have like a bunch of things you want to do, and you only have like a day left to do them. So that would be the urge, right?
Sure, you're going to want to do things, but how is that connected to the amount of time you have left? Okay,
Because
let's
like,
take an example. Let's say there's a child in a room and there's candy in front of a bar, or there's a Snickers bar, and they're like, you only have 60 minutes to eat the Snickers bar. Do you think the urge to eat it is going to be higher at the like when there's only 1 minute left than it would be when it's like 50 minutes? Actually, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah, because that's why the companies put like limited time offer. Like that's
yeah,
a psychological.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dude, do you remember the conversation we were having last time about like vegans and like killing animals and shit?
Did you and me?
It was like me, you, and like six other people, and then there was like the alien guy with the thought experiment about thinking about the tree.
Oh yeah, and I got really mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a dude in there called No Chance, and like he messaged me about
Mhm.
like my moral system and shit. I was so confused because like I had no idea how to answer. He says like, because I think generally I think like humans are higher than animals, so we can
Yeah.
essentially do whatever we want to them, right? And it's not morally wrong. Um,
That okay, sure, but I don't know that
that
I
that's
see
just my
different
moral
points of view.
system, right? Like I think humans are better than animals, so as the top species, we can do whatever we want, and it would be
Well,
morally right.
humans have more value than animals, but there's no reason. There's no like that doesn't mean we can be unnecessarily cruel to them, right?
Why not?
Oh, because it's unnecessarily cruelty. We want to avoid that.
Yeah, but what if sorry, what if I derive pleasure from being unnecessarily cruel to an animal? So like, why wouldn't I do that?
Sure, but that wasn't what the statement you made.
Well, it's anything that provides utility to the human is like of higher value than the animal's life, is generally the point that I'm making.
Yeah, I'd agree
So
with that.
like even if I gain like 1% utility from brutally murdering 60,000 chickens, because I'm a human, I can do that. That's
Okay.
generally like my thought process.
That's extreme. That's like you're kind of biting the bullet by saying that, but like I guess it holds out.
Yeah, but then
Anyway,
like
what
so
point?
so then
What
the
point
question
were you trying to make earlier?
Yeah, so then like they posed the question, right? That if a hyper intelligent alien were to land on Earth, and now this alien is like higher than humans on the ladder, right?
Mhm.
Would it be justified for this alien to rape, torture, and murder like humans en masse just because he enjoys it?
Yeah.
And then like obviously I said yes, right? Because that's my moral system. Like, um, and then they try to say something like wouldn't you feel bad about it? And I would say if I'm thinking purely rationally, of course I wouldn't feel bad about it, because in my system like I'm lower than this thing, so he has the ability and the right to do whatever he wants. But obviously from a self-preservation standpoint, then like I wouldn't feel happy about it. And then I don't know, he cited a bunch of like fucking desires, like David Hume saying reason is and ought be the slave of the passions, which I have no idea what he's talking about. Like,
Yeah, neither here. Same here.
let me message you what he's saying, because like, because I guess there's like a problem with my moral system where here it says oh yeah, so I said so he asks as for you granting rights to disabled or young humans, that only works because the rest of the species is intelligent. If 51% of the population would be mentally retarded, would it be justified to like murder them or whatever, right? So then I said, no, because I think we bend the rules and offer extra consideration to them because they're a member of our species, in addition to the fact that they are intelligent. So by the same token, I couldn't kill or harm a mentally retarded person
Yeah,
because they're incapable.
you're not answering his argument there, because what he's saying is like he's changing the definition for what a member of our species is. Because if 51% of our species is crippled, like mentally, then that would be what our species was, what the human species is, and then you as a functional human would be another species, and you would be like completely
No, I
like
don't.
better.
I don't think that follows. Just because 51% of a species has like one trait doesn't make them a different species.
If like well,
I don't think that's how we do taxonomy in any measure of the word.
that's how words work though. Or is it? Because if okay, let's make it more extreme. If there's 99% of species that like all like this and like mentally crippled, they can't move, they're very very different from you. You would be by that definition like a different species, no?
But then what about like tribes in like island, like the pygmies or whatever? They're still humans, but they have different traits than humans, right? They're very short, they have dark skin, and they're like less than like they're way less than 1% of the population. Are they not humans?
Isn't all of their traits human?
Well,
Isn't being
that's what we're saying. Like they're extremely short. Like I think they're like 5 foot max or something, and they are so they're extremely short. They're dark skinned. There's other traits of them as well, but like they have different traits to the vast majority of people, right? So are they a different species? I don't think they are, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't be.
So so by that so then that doesn't make sense. Where like 51% of the population has a different trait to 49%, so the 49% are a different species.
Well, they'd still be human because the differences in appearance
Yeah, so that's what
isn't
I'm
where
saying.
we're
That like even if 51% have a different trait, they're still human.
sure, but they don't have human traits. That's the thing. These pygmies that you just like described, they all have human traits. If people are like mentally crippled, they can't move, they can't think, they wouldn't really have human traits. And
No, because
that's
that assumes that I'm saying a trait of being human is having intelligent thought or not being mentally retarded, which I never said that. Like you can have a mentally retarded human and they're just as human as like a non-mentally retarded human, right?
Sure, but I thought you said like mhm.
No. So my point was that even if they're mentally retarded, even if they're like not as intelligent, we offer them extra consideration than we do. So for example, if there was a mentally retarded human and they had the same intelligence capacity as, like, let's say, I don't know, a pig, right? It would be okay to kill the pig
Yeah.
and not okay to kill the human, because even though they're the same level of intelligence, the human is a human. It is part of my species, so I offer them extra consideration. I allow them to cheat the rules a little bit because they are part of my community.
Sure.
Yeah. So
And if they weren't part of your community, then you'd be fine with killing them.
yes. Yeah.
Sure. So I guess the question would be then, like, what's the line between like what's part of your community and what's not part of your community?
Human.
Yeah, and how do you define that?
I don't know, the unique DNA that humans possess, or like the taxonomy, the definition that we Homo sapien.
I don't see why our DNA would be. Actually,
I guess Homo sapien is better than saying DNA.
yeah. But is it Homo sapien just another way of saying human?
Yeah, but it's the taxonomic definition, right?
Let me. Sure, but like that doesn't really answer the like essence of the question, where it's like you're fine with killing other like groups, let's say. So you'd have to like have clear boundaries for what your own group is, because if you're just doing averages, then what is the point of like a 51% or human or like
So,
retarded?
human being a culture-bearing primate classified by the genus Homus, especially the species Homo sapien. Humans are anatomically similar to and related to the great apes, but are distinguished by a highly developed brain, the resultant capacity for articulate speech, and abstract reasoning. So I think,
Sure.
like, generally, like, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of deviation in the category of human. I think that's a perfectly fine thing to do. I don't think we need to like define human uh so much as you think we do, because it's more like, you'll know it when you see it type deal.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, because humanity, I guess, like, I guess, I guess, like, intelligence does play a part in what humans are. I think mentally, like, crippled person would be less human than a human that has the mental faculties, right? Maybe. Actually, I'm unsure about that statement.
I don't know, but even if they were, right? Even if I
Mhm.
grant you that, then they would be then like you could easily work around that by saying that the humans in their family,
Yeah,
like, let's say, like, you have a family, mom, dad, brother, and the sister is like mentally retarded, right?
yeah.
And she can't do anything. She can't eat, she can't speak, can't look around, she's a vegetable. But
Mhm.
the mom and dad love her, and the brother and everything. The reason why I wouldn't kill her, even though she qualifies as like a vegetable under this definition, she qualifies as not human, is because of the consideration I give to the mom, the dad, and the brother, who are intelligent, thinking human beings. They have the will to protect this person, or they don't want this person to die. So I'm giving that consideration because they're part of my community. Does that make sense? The
And
same
you'd give mhm.
by the same logic, I wouldn't kill someone else's pet, because
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though it's an animal, yeah, I wouldn't be able to kill their pet because I'm giving consideration to the human rather
Yeah,
than the
that was
animal.
the question I was about to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Did he have any other arguments against you?
Um. So then he says, okay, if there was this person, in quotes, that shared a lot of our characteristics, but they had cow ears and cow tail, so they were too genetically distant to reproduce with humans, would it be okay to exclude them morally under your system? And then I said, it would depend what considerations we've outlined for them in the law and our system. He says the law has no consideration for them, let's say. Um, and then he said, would it be okay to rape, murder, or torture them? I said, I guess I'd have to say yes. So I said, like, even within the animal kingdom, we have different consideration for different animals. It would be much less socially acceptable to harm a dog than it would be to harm like a rat, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then he sends me this, which I'm gonna send it to you because I have no idea what this like philosophy bro argument is.
Dude, how did you get this user suspected to be a part of a terrorist organization?
Oh, I just typed it. It's copy pasted. It's not real.
Oh,
It's
no,
just
it's about me.
yeah.
Ah, I see.
You can edit your about me.
But wait, isn't about me like, because I checked, about me is like under something, but no, there's like a text where it's like about me and then X, whilst with you that doesn't exist.
Oh, so if you it's the custom status. That's what it is.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, if you go in the bottom left and click like your Discord, and then you see where it says like idle online or whatever, underneath it says edit custom status. You just put it there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let me read what you said. So right, the way I see it is that intelligence has no inherent value. It's a mean that we've evolved to mediate between our separate desires carefully. As David Hume writes it, reason is and ought only to be the slave of the passions. He published the is-ought gap. The only thing with inherent value are the emotions and attitudes we have towards specific things in the world. A being of pure rationality could not do anything, as desires, motivations, and emotions and passions are required to use it. It's like a computer that's incredibly good at math but has no motivation to do anything, as it doesn't have. Well, I mean, this is kind of presupposing that there can be no inclinations that come from intelligence only, which which isn't necessarily certain. Um, let's see. So, but has no motivation to do anything as it doesn't have any preferences. Reason alone does not set our goals, it only executes them. Those who are better at reason merely have better means for achieving their goals. So reason in itself doesn't have any goal. Yeah, but some goals can come purely from reason. Can they? I don't
So
know.
like what's he saying here? Dumb it down for me. Is he saying that we just have urges and like our reason is like a way to justify the urges, or
He's saying wait, could you, what is he saying, or like how it relates to the
yeah,
topic?
what is he saying? Like how and how does it relate to this?
So I'm not sure how it relates to the topic, but I think it's like he's saying that intelligence is just a tool, and that like it's the urges and emotions that are in the driving seat.
Okay, I
But
guess, but
I don't
like,
know how it relates.
but then in that case, isn't intelligence equally or even more important then? Even if it's a tool, it's the tool that allows you to realize your urges, right? Like urges by themselves are just urges, so you can't do anything unless you have the tool to realize them. So
Yeah, this comes to this is touching on another topic where if you have two necessary components, can you really like decide which one is more important than the other? For example, let's say this. Let's say you're walking in the street one day, like a random street, and by walking there, you meet the love of your life. Now, for all of that to happen, there's multiple necessary components. There's the component that you need to be there at that time. You need to have a personality that's like appealing to the love of your life, and the love of your life needs to also be there. All of these things are necessary. But if you had to like say like which one of these is more important than the others, I'm not sure like how you would decide that.
yeah, so it's sort of like yeah, it's like if I find a tree and I want firewood,
Mhm.
the urge to want firewood is equally important to like having an axe, right? Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm just sitting there wanting firewood, but I don't have any way to do it.
yeah,
And the same thing is like the axe is useless without the urge to want firewood, no?
yeah.
Yeah. So then, what is this dude saying? These weird philosophy bros, man. I
Yeah,
don't
but
understand.
it seems like he's saying that is because he's saying reason should be the slave of passion, and in that statement, it's like inherent that passion is above reason. I don't know how you like how why that would be.
Yeah, because one can't one they can exist independently of each other, but like they don't provide anything independently. It's only the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, yeah. I
Wait,
think he has to substantiate it more.
Mm. What's up, dude?
sorry, I just barely walked in, but if I get what you're saying right, like what do you think that reason serves? Like, what purposes does it have?
Well, so the thing was, the thing was that like you have urges, right, to do something or to acquire something or like for something to be, but reason and intelligence is your tool to realize those urges. And apparently there's this dude, David Hume, who writes that reason should be the slave of the passions. So, uh, but we're saying that like you can have those two things independently. You can have reason and you can have the urges, but by themselves they don't do anything. It's only when you have the urge to direct the reason where you can achieve a goal, or you have the reason to realize the urge's goal, you can achieve those goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's saying that the reason should be the slave of the passion, which kind of inherently says that like one should be the passion is above the reason, which kind of doesn't make sense because passion by itself
Oh.
doesn't do anything.
I would say that reason. Well, I think that like, wouldn't actions be?
Action goes under reason.
Well, wouldn't action need to have a purpose, and reason kind of gives it? Like, well, not. Well, yeah. Wouldn't action need to have a purpose, and passion kind of gives it its purpose?
Yeah, exactly. That's my
Then
point.
isn't
Is
that
that
kind
like
of, yeah?
by themselves, isolated, they're both useless, but only
Unless you
together
think of
can
reason,
you.
or sorry, what was I going to say?
Yeah, only together can they achieve something. By themselves, they're useless.
Unless you think of reason as like its own goal almost. You think of passions in a different way. Depends on what you mean by passion and reason. Like, some people can think of like the finding the truth of the universe as reason, and then
That
that
would
can
be
be
curiosity, and it's not it's not
yeah,
inherently within the reason. You could make the argument, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. Some people would probably say that,
Yeah,
but
like
I wouldn't necessarily. I still think that that's a inherent desire to be curious and stuff, and to find out the truth of things.
Yo,
Is
Yeah.
it in and of itself its own passion?
Evil, on this
Mm.
server, I'm like experiencing that people like generally like they use large words and they like speak slow, like they act in the way like intelligent people act, but they have like no understanding of the thoughts that they're like talking about whatsoever. Do you
I'm one of those people, so I don't know why you're telling me, bro. Like,
really?
I
What are you
mean,
guys debating?
I don't
Nah, I'm
think
just
we're
asking him a
debating.
question at the moment.
I don't know. I think like I think a lot of people are like philosophy bros and they use like these big terms and shit, but I haven't seen people do like the fallacy thing yet, but I think that's something Destiny kind of shits on, so it's not really prevalent in this server.
Wait, what's the fallacy?
Where
Oh,
like
just when
you'll
people
say
like
something and then
talk
someone will
about
say
fallacy.
that's a logical fallacy. It's a slippery slope. You're strawmanning here. Like people don't usually do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't see that here often. I mean there are some genuinely intelligent people, right? Like Live Free, Alien.
Yeah.
There's a few like genuinely intelligent people who like have a good grasp on philosophical concepts and shit. And then there's like a lot of role players as well who think they're a lot smarter than they are.
Mm.
And then there's like I don't know people like me in the middle. But yeah, I think
Everybody's gonna be in the middle of somebody.
yeah, I don't think there's like I don't know. I think this is one of the better servers in that respect. Like the politics Discord or like some other larger Discords are a lot worse than this one in
Yeah.
that respect.
Yeah. How do you deal with like philosophy bros? Like how do you deal with those people?
You just so you can either confront them like Destiny does and says like drop these like big terms and let's just talk, which doesn't really go well unless you're like someone with a bigger platform than them like Destiny can do. But I think
Yeah.
like I think a really good way is just like in that discussion we were having the other day, where I continuously said like I don't know what is it consequentialism means. I don't know what that means, or I don't know what determinism means. Can you tell me? And like then they'll stop using those words. They'll use the actual meaning of those words, and they'll talk to you like you're a 5-year-old who doesn't know what those words mean. Because I feel like that cuts out the long terminology that they're using, and it also strokes their ego a little bit and makes them feel like they're teaching me something. So it's a lot easier to just like have the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
But anyway, Kilroy,
Hmm.
how is your Filipino girlfriend? How is that going?
Crazy.
Crazy? Oh shit,
Crazy
man.
as always. She's a
Stuff
little
out
bit
here.
nuts. Yeah.
What, did you forget to
But
call her babe again?
I forgot to tell her good morning.
My man.
She was mad about that. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I almost broke up with her after that because she was like overreacting to it. But then I found out that like she was upset about that because I have like epilepsy and stuff, and she was worried that I was having one, or that's what she said. I'm gonna give her
Wait,
the
that's
benefit
like
of the doubt on
that's
that.
like a huge brain thing, dude. Can you imagine? Like you just forget like her birthday and something, be like, oh sorry, I had a seizure. Like someone flashed the lights at me. You just got an out for everything. My
True,
guy.
true. But the thing is that it's like it only happens during the night. So I guess I could like it only lasts for like 10 minutes or so when it happens, but it only happens at night. So it would be like very dependent on what time of day it was or that kind of thing. But I could always say I was just asleep because she kept me up all night or something.
No, you're
Um,
not. You're not thinking. You're not thinking logically here. You say that you had like an epileptic fit, and then you say, "Oh, I hit my head during the seizure, and it like made my epilepsy much worse, and now it happens during the day as well." Oh my god, this is
I
like
don't
some
know.
huge brain
Yeah.
shit. Holy fuck, man.
Yes, that
Some
would
people
be
have
huge
all the
brain.
luck.
True, true.
Out here
Also,
with
sleeping works too.
the epilepsy
But yeah,
buff.
she's a little bit nutso. And yeah, I don't know what to do about it. I really, really like her, so it's kind of hard to just like ditch her. Plus, she's like super like attached to me too, and it's like she would like I don't know, she would be pretty devastated if I left too. So it's kind of I don't know. It's
Fair enough.
a little bit rough.
What about you, Imp? Do you have any like mental disorders that you can leverage in your relationships?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, well, praying for you, man.
Does anyone know? Oh shit! I can't turn on my camera in here.
Just describe it to us. What
I
does the
can't
mouth
tell if
feel?
this. It's like the lamb chop. It's like a lamb cut, but I don't know which cut of the lamb it is. So I think it's a leg actually.
What does it say on the package?
It just says lamb.
You didn't get given
Yo.
an unmarked package that just said lamb on it. There's got to be
Yo.
more.
You guys want to play
There's
Letter
no
League?
piece.
What's
There's
this
a bone
game?
in it.
It's like a Wordle.
Okay, bet.
Yo, who's joining?
Let's see here. What is in this package?
Okay.
Boneless lamb shoulder roast, lamb bone
Kilroy,
broth,
are you
lamb
joining?
leg steaks. Oh yeah, they're lamb leg steaks. Okay.
Am I joining?
Yeah, are you joining?
But is it the shank though?
Joining what? What game is it?
It's called Letter League. It's like a
Lamb
spell game
shank.
where you have to like get new words.
Never played
Oh,
that before.
I see what this is.
I might not join just because I'm about to go to Home Depot.
Wow.
I'm
I
building
found
a
shanks.
desk for my PC, so
Nice.
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 You're building the desk also. That's pretty nice.
yeah. But the thing is that the desk is like an internal, like inside of my closet desk, so it's almost like a hole, like just a little divot in the wall with my desk inside of it. So,
Yeah.
but it's the thing is it's very different. It's kind of hard to get the measurements precisely right so it can fit inside of it because there are little the walls like kind of bulge out.
Wait, so where do I put the letter? Do I put one letter down or?
Yeah, I think you put it on the star.
Okay.
I also fucked up the wall. So
Wait, it's still my turn. How do?
Oh, you can put as many letters as you want to.
Oh shit. Wait, I didn't mean to put that. Fuck. There we go. How do I end my turn?
Where?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
You guys have any crazy girlfriends?
No, I want a
Just-
normal one.
I got out of a year-long relationship, so I'm in my
Was she crazy?
toxic phase. She was very crazy.
What'd she do?
She like gaslit me into thinking that I was abusive, but now I'm actually abusive. So she got what she wanted. But I'm gonna go out and abuse other women. So it's like she's become a net negative to all women, you see.
That's the way to deal with your trauma.
Listen, bro.
To
Even
take
if
it out
she's
on other
lying,
people.
even if she's lying about you saying that, just own up to it. Just be like, I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for doing that. And when you do that,
What the fuck
Then-
is manas?
Yeah, I
That's-
have no idea.
That's
It
not
makes
a
it-
word. Kill yourself. Oh
no,
wait, you didn't get a word point.
This guy doesn't even
Sorry.
listen to my advice.
I'm
He doesn't
listening. I'm
wanna hear
listening.
it.
Yeah,
No,
just
you
own
don't.
up.
You don't
I
have a
already did that.
girlfriend. You don't have a girlfriend anymore, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really apply to you anymore.
Well, I
don't
already
think,
did that.
so-
I already did what you're saying. Like, I already, even though because she gaslit me into thinking that I was abusive, so I actually believed that I was being abusive. So I apologized and everything, and I tried to like change up and everything. But she was the one
But did
being
you mean
abusive.
it? Did you
Yeah,
mean it?
because I genuinely believed that she was right, that I was abusive, but I wasn't. I
They're the
love it.
same
I love
thing.
that I swapped it. I have two
Did you do
A's
it in
and two
public?
I's.
Did you ever do it in public?
Why would I
Never
do it
in
in
pu-
public?
No, why? Well, I don't know. Like, if you can do this so people see that she is abusive, that's different. It's she can't really show that in public. It's very hard to, like, without any criticism, at least. Like, because if you can contrast your personality with her abusiveness, like people can see that.
Yeah, but like I'm not one to bring other people into my relationship because it's just fucky, right? Because if you vent to other people about like your relationship, then it just skews everyone's view. I don't know how to explain it.
So
It's
you
like
don't want to. You also don't want to make your partner like feel like you're just trashing them outside of the thing. So, but you do need someone to vent to. Like I do that with my sister. It's like, oh, my girlfriend's acting crazy again. That's why I didn't sleep all night again. So, yeah.
I got two A's and two I's. I swapped
Well-
an I and I got another A. And then my turn is gone. This is such a cancer game.
I'll
I have
also
14 vowels.
read her messages to
Ay,
me
ay, ay.
out later. Like
This is
after
definitely
she
like a
gets
child
like mad
molester
at me, I'll
game.
do that. Like I'll read like the crazy messages she sent to me, and like I'll pretend
Wait, is
to
this
be
your
her.
sister?
No, I read it out to my girlfriend also. But I don't read it out to my sister. I just kind of tell her like, "Yep, she's acting crazy." I'll tell her a little bit. Like she got mad
Oh,
at me
the
because I
timer
didn't
ran
call
out.
her by her. I accidentally called her by her name and not her like couple name. So yeah.
Hmm.
And then I forgot to say good morning, or I didn't call her first enough times, and she'll.
Dude,
Yeah, I don't
you know what's a what is TUN?
Not.
Oh, it's nut. Oh, okay. You can do it backwards.
Yeah.
Where's
No,
my
you know-
rice cooker?
And
You know
then
what I
one
did, right?
time she pretended to break up with me, and then when she like she asked me what would you do if I broke up with you, I was like, well, I don't really have any choice. I'd let you go. And it's like, and then she got mad at me for saying that I would let her go, because she wanted me to almost like force her to stay in a relationship with her. So I was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah,
This
that's
just
kinda
game,
kind of
crazy.
crazy.
this game is just cancer. This game is not letting me play a valid word. Like, nah, I'm gonna get like Oh, what is?
I want
this
to cook
fucking-
some rice, but
Do
this
it.
time I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna do it in a pot instead of a rice cooker.
Okay. I'm putting an A at the end of TUN to make tuna, and it's saying
Oh,
invalid
shit.
word. Kill yourself.
Yo.
This disgusting game. Nah, this game is shit. Like, how is tuna not a valid word?
Well, I think it needs to be valid side and downwards.
That's
So
retarded.
much rice.
All right, Kilroy, here's what I did, right? I'll tell you, this is some big brain move, right? So basically, it was like 6 or 7 months into the relationship, and my girlfriend was acting like absolutely crazy. So I broke up with her, right?
Mhm.
And I told her like, yeah, bitch, you're acting like fucking crazy. I don't want to be with you anymore. So I ended the relationship. And then and then over the next couple months, I could see like on her stories or on her social. Why is it still my
Mhm.
turn?
I
What-
paused the timer, I think.
Oh, unpause it. I'm not getting a fucking word because this stupid game. Anyways, so so then over the next couple of months, I could see on her stories she went back to the gym and she started working out and shit, and she got insanely hot. And then I just got back with her like 2 months later.
That's
Fucking pro
funny.
gamer move.
That is the perfect move right there. Just like get her hot and then come back.
Yeah, I mean she was already hot before, but then like after the gym and she started working out, like probably holy shit, bro.
Like ultra hot.
I would let this
That's-
bitch abuse me.
I get that. I get that. To some extent, even if you know you're kind of in an abusive relationship, there's like if they're really really hot, it's kind of hard when you're really horny to break up with them. Like if you look at them
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you just like they're really hot, it's like, oh my gosh, I was about to break up with you, but like you're really hot right now, and I don't want to lose that. So
How
I
are you
don't know.
getting these words? What? Gene. That's not even how you spell Gene.
Wait, is it?
Especially when they're
That's
really
the name Gene. Oh wait, no, they're spelled the same way. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Sometimes you can just overlook the bad. So
I
I
haven't gotten a single word. This is ass, dude. This is bullshit. I have AAURBOY. Like, what are these words? I have 4 out of 6 are vowels.
thought that you had to like be mentally deranged in order to stay in an abusive relationship, though, or at least a toxic one. But like I'm fully aware of what's going on. It's just that I don't want to.
Listen,
wanna go.
a crazy pussy hits different.
True. Very true.
I
You what?
I can't. I'm gonna swap again. Give me a new letter, please.
Oh, you can swap.
Linguistic intelligence is actual trash,
What?
though.
You
so.
can swap multiple letters at once. Anyway,
Yeah.
wait. Tell me more about like your abusive relationship. When did you like realize it was like bad?
Pretty much from the beginning that she just did weird stuff. Like it's not like I just like realized like after a long time. It was just that I've always kind of known that she's been kind of crazy and that she's been overreacting to these things. Like it's pretty obvious when she's like, if you don't say good morning to her, that she's like just kind of going nutso into like a lot of ways, and saying crazy shit all the time. Yeah, so like it's pretty easy to tell after like a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
cunt.
But yeah, but wait. If she was abusive, why did you like decide?
Well,
stay
she's
with her?
toxic. It's not really abusive. Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel like I'm being abused. Like the whole time she's doing it, I'm like, you're being crazy right now. I'll just wait for you to finish this little crazy episode that you're having, and then you'll be fine, and then we'll be good. So
True.
like it's pretty much like clockwork. Like sometimes I'll get the sense like, oh no, she's like.
You're a cunt.
Like,
You're actually
I'll-
just like a fucking parasite. When the sharks they swim and they have all those little fish stuck to them. That's you, okay? Like so cancer.
He just
Yeah,
began,
but, like-
he just played true, and I put it all at the end of it true.
And I played beard.
All
I
the
played
time.
bear, and he put a D at the end and got beard. Like, you're just cancer. You're just literally like just riding my coattails. All right.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's nuts, but I don't know. It's just a little bit like it's like clockwork pretty much. Like sometimes I'll tell her like you're about to do this, you're about to be kind of crazy, a little bit, and I'm not gonna be too reactive to it. So I'll just wait for you to finish, and then I'll just be all good. So, but yeah.
No, don't. I see where that letter is going.
Yeah, just checking out combinations.
Guy, man.
How about you? How long did it take you to figure out it was abusive?
It took me very long actually. Like, I didn't really